In college, I decided like on a whim to take a drawing class. And I think that was sort of a pivotal moment. I was so surprised to see drawing taken so seriously, and the professor took us all so seriously, and she showed us so many contemporary artists of color, where I realized like, okay, this is actually something I can do. I think I also sort of grew up around the like, how are you gonna get a job mentality? So I think there was a little bit of pressure for me. Like being mixed, I've always felt like a little like I'm not allowed to claim perhaps like Mexican American identity. So I think I've described myself as Latinx when I feel like that's appropriate. I don't feel pressured necessarily to make my identity apparent in my work. Everything that informs who I am is going to be in my art. But at the same time, I don't see myself as making autobiographical art. When I'm making my work, I want it to feel like it's like a slice of a world, and you're just kind of seeing into this world. And I want it to be populated with characters. I would say like those are some writing terms I think about a lot. I think about storytelling, like visual storytelling. One of the pieces it's called Is That How You Got Injured? It's a collage. It's a scene of war. When I was making it, I was thinking about the characters that you see across the scene as like soldiers and my soldiers. It was important for me that everything was a battle. Everybody has an adversary and is engaged in some kind of confrontation. I wanted it to feel elemental. Like to me, I see a landscape. I know maybe to other people it's a little less clear, but like there's tiles that make up this larger picture. I think maybe it comes across more as like a psychological landscape. The title is drawn from the paper in the corner, which I found on the ground. And that's part of my practice that I really enjoy is found material. I was just walking through Berkeley and saw a crumpled piece of paper on the ground. When I picked it up and unraveled it, it was the week I was making this collage. I was so amazed that I was reading something exactly what I was considering when I was making it. I think broadly, I'm thinking about injury too in this piece. In my process, I try not to think at all. And I try not to question myself at all. If I'm interested in something, I go with that. If I want two things to go together because I think it's interesting, I do it without thinking about it. And I try not to have a second thought. Especially with collage, I just glue things down. I think for me, it just feels really important to like never question myself. I'm also interested in making work that maybe doesn't sit right with people. I've had a friend describe my work as like there being something wrong, within the scene or something like that. And I really like that description. I am not that interested in beauty. I've been thinking about and struggling in some sense with time and like money as a resource. Art is not my primary occupation. I have a job. And I think a lot about like how to make time for an art practice. A resource that I've used though is like non-academic art classes. I take some at community colleges and then some at just like community spaces in Oakland. I like explicitly am like taking them for fun. And for me, it allows for like time throughout the week. I have to make that time. Labor, there's like assignments that can actually really help like structure and like with discipline. And then also just like the community I found was like so amazing. I loved it. Like from then on, I just thought it was so fun. It made so much sense for me. Like I just felt really passionate about that. Metrics of success don't really mean much. In my experience, like they make me feel like more of an imposter than ever. So I think it's just more important, like going back to you and like how you view yourself and not to wait for something to happen to make you feel like a legit artist.